The Out There Channel, Robert and Paul.
Perfect timing this time.
Please sub and share.
No sound, I reckon.
Searching for the truth. UFOs, aliens, greys and ufology.
If anything's too loud.
Real images, real stories, real videos, real cases, researched and investigated by professionals in the field and cutting-edge discoveries.
I heard some crackle there. Should be sound.
Multiple witnesses, abduction accounts brought to you by Team The Out There Channel. Good to be back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Action.
Good to be back. I thought everything was perfect until I read Dan's comment.
Oh, what was that?
I thought everything was perfect, you know. We started dead on the music starting, and
normally, working.
Yeah, it's working now. I think it's just his end, not our end, or Google's end. Yeah, I think we're back at the desktop now. Anyway. Yeah, I thought it was a perfect start. No glitches, no things I forgot. But yeah, looks like Dan's the only one here at the moment. Anyway, I thought maybe we get Jasper, but it is now about 9 p.m. Germany time, which is when a lot of people go to bed, of course.
That's why
I pushed it. Yeah, I only pushed it back another hour, I see. That's why I did it last time. You didn't show up because you were on the toilet. But anyway, all is good here, I think. The subs are still going up. Although it's been a bit crazy with YouTube still. I got up to 2520 almost, and already they've taken away 7 again. 7 subs, so it doesn't make any sense to me what's going on there. BitChute seems to have stalled a wee bit, and Rumble seems to be the only one that seems to be going up regularly, which is meant to be a good thing.
I think with BitChute it was always going to plateau a little bit at some time, wasn't it?
I think we'll find that there's only really 2,000 real ufologists out there that follow real channels. The rest of them follow stupid channels. I think we'll find that there's only really 2,000 real... Hey, he's got the speaker on.
No, it's okay. It's sorted now.
You're playing YouTube, eh? It sounds a wee bit behind. Yeah, I think there's only about 2,000, 3,000 real hardcore UFO people out there. The rest of them just like to watch fantasies and anything that flies in the sky, right? Where the real ones...
How many did you say then?
2,000 to 3,000 maximum worldwide.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be remotely surprised if that is the real figure, you know, because what I've noticed, Paul, over the years, the group of people that I talk to now is getting smaller because there's so many clowns out there.
Yeah.
Some of those clowns are quite well known, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, but they're convincing people that they've changed. Now,
I know.
I have a problem with this. Any channel that started off hoaxing and deception should delete their channel if they've changed, right? And they should start a new channel. They shouldn't just build up their channel with deception, because that's how they do it on YouTube, right? They do it with fantasy and deception. They build it up and then they start changing their ways, right? They start debunking, or they try to pretend they're debunking and researching and trying to do it the correct way. That doesn't wash with me. You got to start over fresh. Also, doesn't matter if they've got an interest in the field, you know. They may have started off not really interested in the field, now they've got an interest in the field and they changed their ways. That doesn't rub on me either.
Yeah. For me,
you got to be interested from the beginning, you know.
Because once you've deceived someone, I don't think there's any going back. I think you're finished.
That's correct. Yeah, that's really it, really. But that's not happening at the moment. A lot of these people that we worked with, or we trusted as proper investigators, are showing up on the third phase of the moon.
Yeah.
And they're showing up on GoofOn and thinking, oh yeah, he's trying, or he's changing his ways a bit, or he's really interested in the field. Well, we'll give him a break. You know, you don't give people that a break. Because they're fraud promoters. He's a fraud promoter. He's working with the frauds. And now Steve Cambion is another one that's in the mix now. He got really hammered in the side chats when he was sucking up to the third phase of the moon on his own show.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he really got hammered. And some people said, this is the last show I'm doing on unsubbing. So, you know, there's people out there that's not following me, they're following Steve Cambion. If they followed me, they'd be better off. There's no way I'm going to be teaming up with the Dream Team panel any time in the next million years. Unless I lose go dementia or something. But, yeah, what's Dan think of it all? He's the youngest in the field here, and he's following a proper UFO channel, as far as I'm concerned, from day one. He's been with us a few years now, hasn't he? He's also tried to chip in with theories and ideas and debunks as well.
Absolutely. We need
more people like him. Because we ain't going to be around forever, so it's going to be another stage where someone's going to take over from where we left off. Well, it's true. You know, we got certain health problems now. We don't know when it's going to end us or not. Speaking of which, that's the white lady sighting I had just in the new year.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head now, I've got this message that they're here protecting me from the greys. Now I don't know where that sort of come from, but that's my feeling. That's what they were showing up just to let me know. Because the greys have been hurting me with experiments. Now, I don't recall those experiments, but that's what's in my head. Now, I've woken up to a couple of days ago. That was what's in my head, because I'm always thinking about it. So whether I've been abducted and don't know what's happened, and the information has been given to me, I don't know. But it's all crazy, this stuff. It does makes you wonder if you're losing your mind or not sometimes, and over imagination, but that what I saw was a solid woman standing in that doorway with a really nice bright suit, a bright white suit, and a really almost fluorescent type pink top, and she definitely had a human face, and the eyes I couldn't quite see. It was kind of a bit blurry because my eyesight was a bit blurry because I woke up and it was just clearing up a wee bit, and I was looking at Dad and Mum's face and they were blurry too. And I could hear them perfectly talking, and I could see the dog was walking towards me. And I was looking at this woman standing in the doorway thinking, what she wants? Why is she here? Oh, she must be after honey. Because Dad's always letting people in. They let them stand there while they get it from or whatever. But, yeah, that was a really strange experience. I said, where's the lady gone? What lady? They thought I was losing it. But yeah, but now I'm just so used to it, you know. I normally would be freaked out after a vision of an apparition or something like that. Nowadays, it's just like water off the duck's back, you know. I'm not really scared of that stuff anymore. So something's going on anyway, but we'll figure it out one day.
You do actually become accustomed to supernatural phenomena after a while. You got no choice. You have to adapt.
Yeah. Okay, so hope you guys are alright. I'll just bring up some messages. Yeah, I feel actually quite good at the moment, but I got to take my horrible pills starting at after the show ends and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And normally that's me pretty crook for the half the week anyway, semi crook anyway. Normally I'm really good come Friday or Saturday or Sunday sort of thing, but yeah. But we got this new variant of virus going around, which is scaring a lot of people. But a lot of people are just saying it's just like the flu, but it's going to like the flu. It kills off a certain percentage, right? So until we get it, we will always be a bit tense. I think I'm prepared to get it now and just get over and done with it. You know, you're probably thinking the same, Robert. You probably think let's get it and get over and done with it,
Well,
and not have to.
I think that happened for me in April 2020. To be honest,
You think you've had it already?
I'm absolutely convinced I had it.
Maybe you had a variant that's not detected, not detected on their system, and it's now gone. You see, that's what I'm wondering. I think we got flus that were really terrible, but obviously they weren't the variant. But where was it? Because we never got tested. It could have been another variant that sort of popped up and then disappeared again. Who knows? But New Zealand has really clamped down. Masks. Compulsory masks everywhere. It's just annoying. Every time I got to go into a shop, I've got to put a mask on. It's suffocating. Yeah. Anyway, we better get on to the UFO topic. Still, we're drifting off it a wee bit, but. Yeah, I think we'll know a bit more how this year's going to go when we get to the middle of it. I'm still working on improving the channel and adding new stuff to it. I've now got a Sky Watching Series New Zealand. So I'm trying to look at maybe getting a camera first for that instead of a new laptop. A night vision camera. And I'll probably be doing, if JD's around, he'll be driving, I'll be doing some video off this countryside in here in Christchurch, and maybe get up high on the Port Hills and film from there, see if we capture anything. And I'll probably call that one Skywatch on the Road or something like that. So we got things planned, just need the technology and the gear out there. And as you know, support and money coming to my channel is very non-existent. Like I've got 0 this year so far, so yeah, I got to pay it out my own pockets still, but that's the way it goes, I guess. Because I've done those competitions, I'll be doing an update on those. Dan's the only one that sort of semi-tried to answer it. He was on the right track, he just had to fill in the words to win the competition. So I've got another one coming up that people can try and solve to win $20. And subs, offering money to new subs. No one's sending me any information for them to be paid, so I assume the subs are not coming from those advertising episodes, but from just normal links from other comments I've posted around. So, but yeah, the money's there if people want to get paid $1, for the next 20 subs that join up. And you just got to let me know your PayPal. And once we get to 100 subs, I'll do the raffle thing for $10 as well. So yeah, we've got to keep the subs coming in. So if anyone wants to be a promoter of the channel and get paid, I may be able to organise some money to a team member that's called a marketer, because I've tried my best, but I need someone that can speak different languages and maybe promote in different places like Russia, China. Although China is banned from YouTube, which is a problem. But you still could promote my BitChute. I'm not sure if they're banned from BitChute. And you got India, of course, they're not banned from anywhere as far as I know, but it could happen. So yeah, there's a lot of censorship going on as well. So we never know where it's going to go this year. So Robert, we've got a UFO case from New Zealand. So we'll be going over that. Sorry?
Blenhiem.
Yeah, Blenhiem, yep. We've got a location up here. It's right up the top of the South Island. I'll pan out to space here so people can see where it is. What's happening there? I'll just get rid of that side view. So it's right at the top of the South Island. We're down here. I'm down here, roughly in this area here. Middle of the South Island. There's the Alps and the fault line, which is meant to be a big one when it finally goes. It's overdue. And you can see the big fault line running out this way too. And over here. But yeah, you can see how big that fault line goes up to the North Island here. But they got the White Island up here, which is a volcano that's active, and all Auckland is meant to be a volcano. And they got one over here, Palmerston North. But this account happened here near Nelson. Nelson is around the corner, isn't it? Where is it on this map? There, isn't it, Nelson? Or is it there? I keep getting it wrong. Where is Nelson? Why can't I see Nelson?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's in that. God, almost like a giant hole there. Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times. It's a nice place, and the ferry has a port there that goes across to Wellington, and it's the only boat line goes across here to Wellington, which is down here. So it must go this way, and planes is the only other way, or from there to Nelson there's a lot of traffic.
Okay.
It's actually cheaper to fly between the islands than it is to go to actually, it's cheaper to fly to. Get this right. It's cheaper to fly to Australia, Brisbane, than it is to fly from the North Island to the South Island, and vice versa. Yeah, but if you fly from the South Island to the bottom of the South Island, it's only like $58 per person with a return ticket, which is really affordable. But if you want to fly to Australia, it can cost you a couple of $100, and it can be the same for flying from South Island to North Island for some reason. So yeah, we always chose to go to Australia for the same money rather than go and have a look at the North Island. And Mum doesn't like boats; she gets seasick. So I said, "Oh, let's go across the Channel to the North Island because we were up there once, showing our German friends around." And they were keen, but she wasn't, so we didn't go. So yeah, I'm probably the only person in New Zealand that hasn't been to the North Island yet. But everybody keeps telling me you don't want to go up there. It's not as good as the South Island. I must admit, we've been around this island a couple of times, and it's fantastic. The scenery and the clean water, the wildlife, it's just amazing. And of course the food, seafood, especially from down south, and also from Nelson and Kaikoura, of course. The only place we didn't like too much was the west coast. It's got really dense forests over there, mining towns. It's got a lot of mining history, coal mining, mostly some gold mining. And you can wander around the forest and find all the sluice and stuff they used to use and all that. But we didn't like it too much because it had a lot of sandflies there that bite you. And it rains a lot over that side for some reason. It always rains. So when it's nice and sunny in Christchurch, it just always tends to be raining or overcast on the west coast. And it's funny, really. It's something to do with the Alps and also the Port Hills that sort of makes it nice where I'm at, smack in the middle here. It always seems that the clouds seem to separate more and split. But lately, when I've been doing my sky watching, it's been overcast. The big cloud coming across here all the time. So hopefully I'll get some clear skies soon and do a nice clear sky with the Skywatch one to see how well the camera's going to capture things. But anyway, that's all coming up. So yeah, this Nelson case, I suppose we've got to bring up some documents, have we?
Nelson case, it's the Moorland incident.
Yeah, I got some downloads here.
Yeah, I mean, you can bring up the documents first if you like. This is what I found personally.
I numbered them the way you uploaded them, so 1 to 6 here.
Aye, okay.
Now you're seeing the thumbnail with the grey men, the silver suited men. So we'll get to that.
So whoa, what are you doing?
Oh, you wanted it up, did you?
Well, yeah. Well, I was just going to comment on it while it's up. So you can see here. I'll leave a link to where I found the New Zealand UFO files later. But you can see that straight away. It's labelled top secret.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'll just zoom into it.
Yeah. So there's something there, 15A. Now I'm not exactly sure what that is. If anybody does know what that means, I'm not sure. That could be a compartment. I don't know. But yeah, it's got an extremely high classification.
Yeah, I tried to read some of the writing here, but it's a bit hard. It's helmets, I think.
Yeah, small visor.
Something mask. I can't work out there.
No, that's small visor.
Small visor. Okay, yeah, I can see that now. Dark something or other.
Dark objects.
Dark objects. Kind of looks like a pair of lungs. That there I can't work out.
That's like tubing.
Ah, right. Tubing, yeah, that makes sense. With something with.
Yeah, you need to scroll back a little bit because I can't see that now. It's got all pixelated.
Let's see.
Something with buckle.
Yeah, it looks like a belt buckle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it says though. Glove, maybe something glove.
I know what it is. It's mitten, not glove.
I don't know. It doesn't look like mitten to me, but
yeah,
anyway.
it says. It makes perfect sense. Mitten, not glove.
Black disc. Okay.
Seems to be
leather or rubber.
Yeah, wide belt.
Yeah.
Smooth like leather or rubber.
Yeah. Dark. What?
From what it seems, if this creature is is ET, then it obviously wasn't equipped to deal with our atmosphere, was it?
Yeah. But some people have said the silver grey ones were firemen or someone getting fireman suits playing pranks on people. So we can't really dismiss that.
I think we can as the case goes on. That ain't no fireman.
What's that?
Firemen don't land in UFOs, Paul.
Right. No.
Bright spot metal.
Looks like a clock. Time travelers, maybe. knob goes around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Almost like a time traveling suit, isn't it?
Strange.
Humans from the future. I don't know. Strange, all right. Or it could be an amount of airlift or something. But why would you have a mechanical thing spin around? I suppose it's visual to everybody, I suppose. So other
Who
people can
knows?
say,
We're just stabbing in the dark at the end of the day.
yeah. Why is it not going forward? What's happened? Oh, right, I was thinking about it. So, the first document, what's this one?
You're going to have to zoom in.
Okay, what do we got here? Nothing top secret. Although the picture was top secret, so...
No, it's all the files, all these files at the time. They've just been declassified now over the last few years. They were all top secret at the time. The whole case was.
Is this the same case or is it a different case?
Same case.
59. Okay. So you want to read... What's it got a cross through it here?
Yeah, so right, okay, listen, well, you're going to have to find a way of making that more presentable if you can.
This is as big as we're going to get it.
Yeah, I know that. You need to scroll down to the most important piece of the puzzle. This is basically a denial from the authorities. I'm afraid we cannot release the evidence given to the inquiry because the undertakings regarding confidentiality which were given to one, and I can't read the rest because you need to go up. Were given to one of the principal witnesses at the time. From our files, it appears that the matter was widely discussed in the press at the time. You might find a local newspaper a useful source of information on the affair. So it's withholding the information at this point, and it's pointing whoever inquired about this towards the newspaper article.
Yeah.
In other words, we're not telling you what we've got.
That's what's this one? It's reporter's room. David Clarkson.
Well, hold on a minute, Paul. So you can see here the people who've investigated are the Royal New Zealand Air Force.
Yeah. It makes you wonder what stories they got to tell. You know.
Yeah, it has. Because I can tell, you know, I've been all through these New Zealand files, and I'm afraid the government in New Zealand are just as bad as covering things up as anybody else.
Yeah.
It's one of the Five Eyes, isn't it? Australia, New Zealand,
military
Canada,
men are very secretive, I find.
Yeah, they're all in the same boat with the UFO problem. They don't want to talk
my
about
dad still meets up with all the old RF guys in New Zealand every week. Be interesting to ask them questions about UFOs. But I reckon they wouldn't say anything. They're very mum about things. I've tried to get even people in America, ex-vets, to even tell the story. They don't have to even have their name on it or even have a picture or voice. And I got no go on that. He said no, they won't talk about it. So if no one talks about it, then we ain't going to collect any information from those sources, unfortunately. But and put the things together, what's going on, and why this is such a cover-up. Can't be all because it's top secret weapons, can it? So why would humans land in a craft in a silver suit, you know?
Yeah, well, hold on, remember this is 1959 as well.
Yeah. Even before the space flights, right? So... So we don't expect to see spacesuits yet. The Ministry of Defence. So if anyone wants to get access to these, I have actually uploaded it to the Discord, and anyone can get access if they're a full member. So that's a good reason to join our Discord group. Plus, I've got a few other things there from New Zealand magazine, UFO magazine, that you might be interested to look at or grab, download.
Mhm.
And we also got Robert's slides here up on there as well. So, by all means, if you want to join our Discord group, you can find the information in the pinned comment on the web page there. Okay, so what do we got here? Radio New Zealand.
Yeah, this is basically the authorities being evasive again. So you can see that the inquiries come from Radio New Zealand about the event, and if you scroll down, you'll be able to see the reply.
Yeah, I'm just checking something here. Oh, what happened there? Okay, scroll down a bit. Let's zoom in. So whereabouts you want to go? Number 3 or what?
Right, okay. Now this is where the authorities start attacking the witness because they can't attack the data. Her initial story was to the effect that she had only seen craft descend, hover, and then ascend. She subsequently told the investigating officer about the landing of the man, whom she described as like any other man, as far as she could tell, though his left hand was missing below the wrist. So the authorities are trying to say now that she changed the story. That's not the case. Mrs. Moreland claimed to have smelt the peppery smell on several subsequent occasions and to have seen the light again in March 1960. So they're trying to debunk her here. They're trying to make her out to be a kook. The investigating officer described her as, these are the injuries that she received from the UFO. Small blisters which appeared on her 7 days after her encounter on the 13th of July was examined by an Air Force doctor in order to determine whether it might be radiation induced. The doctor, however, concluded it was probably allergic in origin. Well, what would the doctor say? The doctor wouldn't know any better, would he?
No.
And he's an RAF doctor, probably not the best to go and see because he's not going to come out on your side, is he? Now, the ironic thing is that Eileen Morland, the name was, and her husband was RAF personnel.
Yeah.
That's who he worked for. The evidence suggests that Mrs. Morland was in an emotionally unstable condition at the time. She was also the subject of considerable publicity, much of which of a derogatory nature, due in part to a press statement which she issued herself. Not really, she's not the one that went to the press.
No, I remember the story. I think I may have done it when I did my UFO files. Only touched on it though. I think we may have discussed it in the past, talking about.
The press got hold of the story, all right, but it wasn't her that went to them. In fact,
so we've got a lot more information here now. So
yeah, exactly. Now, it wasn't. She had no intention of reporting the sighting, knowing full well that she'd get ridiculed. But her husband insisted on it. He wanted the answers, you see, and it's backfired.
Was in a. Oh, I need to scroll down. Oh. Yeah, right. Oh, that was the end of it.
That's it. Yeah. I've prepared specific answers to the Radio New Zealand questions, including a statement, should you wish to make one. There you go. So if you want to move on to the
next one, which is a paper clipping, is it?
This is just another inquiry into the case, so you can move on from that. But there's another one. This is a giveaway. The high-pitched whistle Do you know what? If I had £1 for every time, that sound has been reported in a UFO case, I'd be quite well off.
Yeah.
And that smell burnt pepper as well. That's another one that comes up.
Never heard the smell of burnt pepper before myself.
Well, it's described in different ways by different people. Some people
maybe it depends. Maybe it depends if it's.
Smell.
Yep. Carry on.
Yeah, some people describe it like sulfur.
Yeah, sulfur smell I've heard before. But it's only been with certain type of alien encounters. Not sure if it's
pepper and sulfur would smell fairly enough the same.
Has that been with grey sightings? Because I know Shelley, when she told the story to Earl Grey, she talked about they smell really bad, really indescribable smell. Yeah. Maybe it was sulfur type smell. Because I remember sulfur is really bad smell. Because I used to have some skin treatment that had sulfur in it. It was disgusting. The doctors didn't know what they were doing back then. They just with those creams, I tell you. But yeah, why would there be a sulfur smell? It's a very good question.
Know, Paul. We just don't know.
Yeah,
but when it starts coming up, when it comes up time and time again, you start seeing the pattern. That's the only thing we can actually glean from it, you know.
Burnt pepper, sulfur smell. Maybe they fart. Maybe that's part of the smell. Who knows? It comes out in their pores. Obviously, spread it out.
Yes, that's what I would suggest. Yeah, but we don't know if that was a smell from the propulsion system or a smell from the actual being. Do we? We can't be sure of that.
Unless we interviewed her and actually narrowed it down more.
Yeah. Well, we don't have that. Obviously, she'd be long dead now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she'll be gone. I wonder if anyone else has had any similar encounters, though. So...
Oh, yes. Oh, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, today, with the silver suited... And don't hear that anymore.
Good God, yes, the one in Llanchmerv in 1978.
Well, that's not recent. It's still pretty fair time ago.
That is just a stitch in time.
Yeah, but it happened in a 20-year period, say. And then the aliens seem to change to greys or tall whites or whatever. Maybe different races have visited us and checked us out and gone, you know, and told the other people out there in the universe, so yeah, we come across this planet here. And so they go and check it out too.
But this is quite unusual. There's no telepathy here. He shouted at her in a foreign language.
Yeah, so that's kind of strange.
She gets out with the torch and ran for nearby trees. The man reboarded the vehicle, which was hovering some 10 to 12 feet from the ground. So there was no landing gear.
Yeah, I wish she actually put some words down. She remembers that it was shouting. You know, you should better hear a certain word or something. You can remember a certain word that they shouted at her. May give us some clue.
Paul, it was inaudible to her. It was in a foreign language.
Yeah.
No language from this.
Yeah, but if you had a German shouting "Act on" to you, "Act on," attention, you would know that word, wouldn't you? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You could say, "Oh, I remember act on."
If it was alien, it's highly unlikely to be speaking German, Paul.
Yeah. Or Italian.
No, you never know.
Well, let's see. What was the early transmissions? Marconi, he was Italian, wasn't he?
Yes.
And Tesla. So if those early transmissions, their voices being transmitted.
Tesla was Serbian, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tesla's in America. He was American by then.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's really Tesla and Marconi that meant to have been doing the radio stuff. They would have been broadcast and sending their voice over air. So it makes sense that Italian would be maybe one of the first languages to be heard by aliens, and also English,
Yeah.
or American English, which ain't real true English, but but anyway,
Do you want to get on with the next documents?
I got the terrible niggle
Right,
in my
okay.
throat.
This is the witness testimony. Okay, that is the full story, unadulterated.
Yeah, it's a bit blurry, this one.
Yeah, I know. So we don't have to read this one out, Paul, because I found a nice little link that's already covered it for us.
You could read it there, probably. 13th of July.
Yeah.
Was at least 25 to 26, I guess. 5 to 6, alright, 5 to 6 this morning.
UFO sightings number in the...
When I... Something rather... no, switched on the...
Yeah, I know.
That's a really hard going one.
Yes. So anyway, but there's the statement there, and that is the original source. You can't get closer to the,
Yeah. I probably could sharpen it and make it easier to read, but anyway.
No, there's no need to do that, But you can see she's describing. Yeah, she's describing this guy. Now, despite what the authority was saying, now this has been declassified. She was talking about this spaceman from the beginning. Do you see the discrepancy now? Clear signs of a cover-up.
What's this one? Secrets. Okay, and then they turn it confidential. They graded it. As a result of the incident reported in this station's letter, 2 days later, 15th of July, and of further telephone calls to station, one of which is quoted in something on the... I can't quite work that one out. Enclosed tech. Okay. To receive all information. Jennings had no previous interest in matters of this nature. So straight away they got a block on anything to do with aliens.
Yeah.
As a result of this investigation and of the matters revealed, which are known to Mrs. Moreland.
Paul, let me get straight to the main points here. Look at this now. 5. According to Mrs. Moreland, there have been at least 2 occasions subsequent to the initial sighting when she has noticed a peculiar smell of burnt. Oh, hold on, you've moved the... Okay, I'm on the wrong line. The medical officer has been acquainted briefly with the circumstances and will submit a report in due course. The symptoms shown could, of course, be self-induced due to nervous strain. Now, how insulting is that? And I really wish you wouldn't move the text when I'm actually reading something, Paul.
I don't know why, because I wasn't moving it. You seem to be like minutes behind or something. I'm not sure what screen you're reading.
Ah, right, okay.
And what screen were you reading? Were you doing the right one?
Yeah.
YouTube will always be like a minute behind or something ridiculous.
Okay, I've left a link for you, Paul, in the side chat.
Yeah, let me just close it down.
This is a lot better than us bumbling
So
on.
all these documents are available on our Discord group, guys. Go and join it.
Well, actually, I can do better than that.
Well, nothing better than being on a Discord group so you can talk about it. But
That's good. Yeah. So if you can,
it's changed our link again to studio. That's so dumb. It's stupid.
So I'll leave a link there to the files. So anybody that wants to get stuck in and have a look, they can. But it's the YouTube link that you need, Paul.
Well, I've got the YouTube link up.
Yeah, there we go.
My sinuses are gone. I might put some spray in. But I'll read it out.
You don't need to read it out.
UFO sightings number in the tens of thousands.
Do we need to start from the beginning?
That was the beginning, yeah.
Okay. What group is it? She's got 33k, eh?
Yep.
Redacted. Have we used them before?
Yep. Anyway, we're on the same case.
But more rare are...
Yeah, remember we've got to pause it every so often just under fair use, so talk over it.
For encounters with beings inside a craft. These events, when documented by legitimate third parties like the military, add credence to the hypothesis that some UFOs are piloted machines. One such encounter comes buried in files of the Royal New Zealand Air Force. They're so deep, few have heard the story that involves a farmer, metallic disc, humanoids in shiny suits, a bright green beam of light, and a cover-up. We're a new channel covering declassified files. Subscribe to join us. July 13th, 1959. A woman calls in frantically to the police station in Blenhiem, New Zealand. Quote, "You may think that I'm mad, but I saw a flying saucer about 5:40 a.m. this morning. I was walking from the house to the cowshed, and when going across the paddock, I noticed a green glow in the cloud, and then all at once a round thing came down into view with two green lights like eyes pointing to the ground. The light lit up the surrounding meadow in an eerie bright green. Realizing this felt wrong, she ran through her cows to a tree line near the meadow and continued looking, roughly 40 meters away from the craft. It had, she said, something like two elevator belts, one going one way and one the other. As it came down, there were two men in it, and one stood up and leaned forward. He was silvery colored. He shone all over. Declassified files give this sketch of what the woman, Eileen Moreland, saw. The craft continued to hover 10 meters off the ground. She described it as having jets a bright orange color with green centers.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that drawing with your documents there, Robert.
Hmm?
I don't remember seeing the drawing of the UFO with your documentation.
Yeah, it is in there. I couldn't include everything, Paul. It's at the time I hadn't found this episode.
Bright orange colour with green centres. Shame it's not in colour, isn't it?
Yeah, so that this is clearly not fireman.
No. I just want to get back to where they were saying craft continued to hover 10 meters off the ground. She described it as having jets. Okay.
She described it as having jets a bright orange color with...
Okay, that kind of reminds me of a similar patent I saw in US patents, where it had like jet engines all around it. So it still could be an experimental craft, and the silver suits is what the pilots were wearing. Could it be Italian? Could it be foreign language? It's got to be European. If it is, not American. But yeah, this one here, if you go to my old patents, one with the little jet engines all around it. Maybe they have got some hovering discs. Who knows? Might be. Yeah, I'm not sure if the patents were that old, but they certainly had patents that look very similar to that design.
Yeah, patents are just science fiction, Paul.
Not necessarily. Maybe this is the first experiment with it. Maybe maybe they didn't realise how far they're going to travel. So if you have a look at the map again, why would you end up in Blenhiem? So let's see, where would be Italy from here? South America is closest one. Could be from South America. That makes sense, doesn't it? I don't think Australia would be foreign language.
The only thing the Italians were good at was pizza, for God's sakes.
So the Italian is over here, right? Up here somewhere. Seems a long way to go just to land in New Zealand.
Because it's not Italian.
I'd say they're more likely to be from South America.
Oh yeah, South America.
59. Yeah, but 59 is just after the Nazis, the World War II, right? Remember, a lot of them took off to South America, started carrying on with their research, apparently down there. Makes a lot of sense. It may have been Brazilians with Germans that were mucking around with the technology still, with the jet engines.
Well, that is a bit far out, to say the least.
Well, it's plausible in my eyes. Anyway, let's carry on.
Green centers. The top of the object had a dome which contained the human-sized silhouettes. The suits folded when the beings moved, and they wore helmets like divers, she said. In statements later given, Moreland described their clothing like glistening chainmail. The helmets were big and covered their shoulders. After a few minutes, the object made a whistling sound, rotated, and a wave of hot air hit her. The craft rose upward at a slight angle and disappeared into the clouds above. The air now smelled of hot pepper, she said. For its part, the New Zealand government took this seriously. A physician found a few blisters on her hands, lips, and shoulders, but other medical records remain sealed.
That sounds like radiation.
A month later, the nearby Air Force station penned a confidential memo. It wrote one lieutenant spent considerable private time looking into it and was convinced she was a genuine witness. The government also decided to raise classification of the incident. We'll see why in a minute. After looking through the document trail, the full story looks to have been withheld from the press for several decades. Interestingly, records show Moreland even had a second sighting a year after the first, but it remains entirely redacted, they say, for privacy reasons. On the 20-year anniversary, a journalist wrote the Secretary of Defense requesting access. The SOD drafted a response stating they could not, due to confidentiality reasons.
Yeah,
but a handwritten note asks, are the assurances of confidentiality of a personal kind? If so, we should say so. Otherwise, it looks like another cover-up. This question was answered by an internal memo written to the Secretary the next day. Quote, the only time Mrs. Moreland was given an assurance of confidentiality was in relation to an alleged second sighting in March 1960. Regarding the July 1959 event, it writes, she was not, underlined not, given a personal assurance of confidentiality. Rather, she was told by the investigating officer to keep her information to herself. The memo also explains, the classification was raised after she claimed a man had landed and shouted at her in a foreign language. The investigating officer thought the words might have been Russian, with 2 exclamation points.
Oh dear.
No more details on this element of the encounter are public. And apparently, there was no reason to withhold information, but here's what happened next. 3 days later, the secretary wrote back, restating the original excuse. These assurances were of a personal nature, a desire to keep our word. A word the Air Force emphatically stated internally didn't exist. Maybe this was a mistake. Or something more nefarious. But the journalist later wrote he believed a fib stopped his request. The excuse was also used in responses to a UFOologist and MUFON when they requested information. And to this day, some files remain classified. There may be additional medical records and details of the second sighting. We have no information on what caused her wounds, or if she experienced any missing time. And other than the handwritten memo, there's no information on any face-to-face interaction with the beings. There's something else curious here. Others in the area back up what she saw. This handwritten note suggests an Air Force person could corroborate the encounter, though no other mention is published.
This is a key part of the case. It wasn't a single witness case after all.
No.
2 other witnesses that came forward.
Yeah.
One of them actually seen the green glow from the craft as well.
Right.
I don't know what kind of Nazi technology that is, and if they had technology like that, damn, someone tell me how they managed to lose the war.
Well, they were on the verge of experimenting with it. They hadn't actually perfected it when they got invaded.
Paul, if you actually look into this, the Nazi stuff and the anti-gravity business, you'll come to a big dead end. I've looked into it. All it comes down to is a few newspaper cuttings.
15 years after the war would have been given them enough time to research that further to see if it's going to work.
They didn't have the facilities in South America to do anything like that.
I don't know. I don't know if you ever watched Hunting Nazi series and all that. They found all these big concrete structures of research facilities.
I don't watch TV shows, Paul, because they're nonsense, they're fiction.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't nonsense. There definitely was a big German influence down in South America. In fact, the Germans helped them build some hydro dams, which they needed the power to even develop the nuclear program down there.
Well, if I was watching the war times, the last thing I'd be doing is flying stuff around. The Nazis had no such technology. They were still using jet propulsion. Their best scientists were under paperclip.
Yeah, but she said it had jets around the outside of it. I'd have to bring up my patents and see if I can find that one. It talks about the dome on top where you can see the things. Yeah. Well, these ones had domes on top where you could see the pilots. 2-man thing. They used 2 men to keep it balanced because they had to keep it balanced.
Crackpot technology and stick a patent on it, Paul. It doesn't mean to say that it could actually work.
Well, I see differently. I could see why they would want to cover it up if they knew it was a request from another government saying it was us doing an experiment, when of course, a lot of hush-hush. And they won't talk about it, Air Force guys, because they know it's part of their development program for the next best airspeed vehicle. But yeah, I think it probably got scrapped if it was using jet engines for anti-gravity still. I'd have to bring up my website for that patent one, skim through it.
Please spare me.
Don't be like that, but we'll do it at the end. I'll just get the page queued up. Patents. Patents are block diagrams, and of course, there's no guarantee they work. There might be initial ideas. Patents.
Yeah, you need an E there, not an I. There we go.
Yeah, so Google search is getting worse. Here we go. That's the one. American Real Declassified UFO Patents. We've been through it a few times. Some interesting designs. I'll just mute it there. I don't know. Google just seems really slow when you're on a live stream, even though we've got unlimited speed. There's 95 patents, so there's quite a few. But you can tell me already that one there looks very similar to the Roswell crash one. See that one? Anyway, I don't know. But there is one there that fits this one. You just have to go through it all. You know, they look like flying saucers. But we can go through it at the end. I'll just stick a link to the episode because it's a good one to have a look at. 90 patents of UFOs.
Public. Another report says on the same morning as Moreland's first sighting, a man living 3 miles away saw a bright light through his window. He called it greeny. Another neighbor reports a very bright light traveling south just after Moreland said it took off. Perhaps this is one reason the lieutenant believed her. There was corroboration. Moreland spoke to J. Allen Hynek when he visited the country, and he was apparently very impressed. Subsequent interviews would discover she had developed mysterious brown patches on her skin. An interview with researchers Brian and Phyllis Dickerson pulled more details from the witness. The craft was described as gray and metallic, with 2 rows of lights that moved in opposite directions when hovering. When it moved, both rows fired. She guessed the figures inside the dome were about 5 feet in height. Their suits were skin tight, and their helmets were strangely shoulder to shoulder. So, what was the craft doing in that field? And do you think there's more to the story than is public? Let us know in the comments below. We want to give a special thank you to our Patreon supporters, including RMG.
So that's that. Getting back to the patents. So we've got 2 rows of fiery lights, is it? Let's just zoom in a bit. See, these ones got little portals, but they're actually vents. So it's stuck in a big motor in the middle here. Obviously, I don't know what it's powered by. Could be powered by even some sort of electro-nuclear battery, who knows. But it's going to have to be powerful enough to put redirect air out the side here to spin it and lift it underneath as well. Here's one that's got 2 rows of stuff going around the outside. It doesn't show the dome on top, but it shows how it would have been designed with the jet engine. Or multiple jet engines in this case. Here's another one with the holes, well, labels, I just say. Which would be elsewhere on the documentation, talking about what they are. That one doesn't say much, does it?
So is there one iota of evidence to suggest that these things actually flew?
There seems to be a lot of patents for some reason. It seems to be a lot of energy spent.
Yeah, fantasy. Yeah, someone's fantasy,
So
Paul.
that one's got a little dome on top with the jet vents going
And
around
how's it
outside.
powered? The jet engine?
Here's a cut side view of a jet engine. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's really sophisticated.
It's
I bet
got
that
one
goes
in the
past.
middle. It's like the Avro car in the way, you know, but
Yeah, I know a heap of shit. They couldn't get off the ground, they had to be tethered.
yeah, but these are bigger engines and different designs.
Ooh, definitely
And
UFO, alien tech. Wow.
I think Americans didn't have all the answers, right? This is a fake image, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
They replaced it with a plane that was in the middle here, but it looks kind of real, doesn't it? Shows you how you can be fooled. They got
Yeah.
the shadow and everything there. But I think maybe the shadow is slightly out, isn't it? For the plane ones, it doesn't sort of match up.
It's not bad. It kind of looks convincing, but
Yeah, that one at the back, I think, sort of gives it away. But you can see here, these are actual patents that's sort of been modelled. And that one's sort of got a dome in the middle, but it's really small, you see. And that one's got like a normal airplane cockpit with a tail fin. Anyway, but those are more like flying wings, right? They're using it like an aerofoil. You can see how flat they're underneath and they're curved over top, so they're like a flying wing. Here's another one that's very similar to maybe the what's they called Roswell, or what do you call that guy? Road saw similar D-shaped, and so did Arnold.
oh, roads. Yeah. That was that was 1947.
Sort of skimming past it, but there's another one with a high dome. Again, it's got the jet engine around it, and it's got two side thrusters. This one.
It's not really clever, is it?
No, it'll make a lot of noise.
You'd hear that a mile off.
Yeah.
I doubt it was even stable.
Yeah. There's a lot of energy that's been put into all these patents, so definitely on the system still. What the hell is that meant to be? Like little domes of some kind going right around the edge of the craft. So what
Good
the hell
God,
is
I
that?
don't know. It could be solar panels for all I know.
That one's got a huge jet engine underneath. Look, it goes like a flying car. What's happened? That one was made. That was the so-called drone they were working on with the jet engine in the middle. They made that one. Then they turned it into a flying car with one troop on the back. Remember that? That was actually functional. More saucer designs. Looks like it's going through them here. That one's got parachutes on it, is it? See, that looks like it's got engines all around. That looks like it's got jet engines all around it too, or vents at least. Look at that strange shape. It's almost like Stingray. UFO would tell.
Oh dear.
And it's got a dome on top. That one's got a dome on top in vents all around outside as well.
What the hell?
There's
It
a
looks
big
like the
fan in the
Starship
middle. Yeah, it almost looks like Star Trek, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There you go, it's a plane type one. That one's on its side. That's got to be nuclear powered for sure. That one definitely fits her description of a big dome on top.
I don't think it was that, Paul.
What happened there? Google interrupted. I didn't do anything.
Dear.
I didn't do it.
Please don't share sensitive information.
What happened there?
Ooh, ouch. You got a little
Ouchie,
warning,
ouchie.
Paul.
It must have triggered feedback for some reason.
Did you see what it said then? Please don't share sensitive information.
Yeah, I think it's because you could type it in with the feedback. Yeah, that strange one looks like a crab almost.
Looks like a heap of junk.
Yeah, that one looks like a quadcopter, doesn't it? So that idea's been around for a while. That one there is talking about the airflow from the jet engines. That one's got 3 jet engines on top. Whoa, look at that strange thing. Another one that looks like something else, Star Trek. It's almost like a plane, that one. All these people with UFO designs, I wonder how many built them in the backyard. And look at this one. This one looks like a professional, huge mothership. And that one, what was I just trying to show there? I don't know. The 3 people one. So that one almost looks like it went underwater. Here's that one that's for the airport. Look how big this one is. Got the passengers, and it's got some sort of nuclear engine here. Or hydrogen or rocket fuel type mixture. Because you normally get them in round containers, right? Sphere containers. So I don't know. Who knows how many of these got into the skies or not. There's another big mothership one on the side. Another big mothership one. It's got the windows underneath. Obviously these wouldn't work in space. Because obviously the jet engines, right? So that means they must have a rocket propellant. That one with the big mothership that looked like it uses rocket
to be
fuel.
honest, it's questionable if they'd work, PVA, isn't it? Look at that, it's ridiculous.
That's the UK version one. Remember, it's like the Mini. Patent 2001 that was. Here's one that's actually workable. The quadcopter. See, the government were using quadcopters, drones. And we know about the stealth ones now. And that one, I can't remember that one. What's that one called? B2, is it? Flying car. Here you go. I think I missed the one that I was thinking of, but it'll be there. Have a look. Have a watch of it properly. But yeah, anything with jet engines, and that one was talking about jet engines. So I don't know whether it's us or them. But it makes sense that if they got jet engines, it's not going to go into space because they need air pressure and all that sort of stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
So it'd have to be a hybrid.
It's not just that. You know, the pilots wouldn't be dressed up that way if they could breathe out air.
Unless it got into space. Unless it got into the upper atmosphere where the radiation is. And there's no oxygen. So that kind of suggests that it did actually fly at least up very high. It must have been a combination. Pepper smell engines. Oh, did you do any research on rocket fuel that smells like pepper? Rocket fuel.
The way she described the way the craft landed and the way it took off didn't sound like any kind of rocket propulsion to me.
You said it had a pepper smell when it took off.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Now, I know there's backyard rocketeers that do muck around with all sorts of strange stuff, like salami. It's very good rocket fuel, apparently. It's got a lot of fat in it and carbon in it. Smells different than a jet engine fuel. Because they do try different things, solid rocket boosters. Rate of rocket launch. That stinks, Judge tells. Hot. Sauce maker to cube, smelly, chill. Okay, add a rocket launch. Let's have a look at that one. Again. Hydrogen is a common one for humans. Doesn't mean that they weren't making sulfur propellants, Maybe sulfur pepper smell. And they're not talking about the smell here, though. We want smells. We want it all dedicated to smells. Pepper smell. Let's put that in quotes. It'd be funny if something comes up.
Yeah.
Not too many searches.
Right, Paul.
Perhaps if I spell what right? Rocket. Yeah, it's meant to be artificial intelligent, though.
Yeah, it's not that good.
Have we got it this time? Feeding athletes. Nope. Hasn't come up with anything with pepper, so maybe we can discount that one. How about sulfur? I think sulfur would be possible. I know our car, petrol, has a sulfur smell to it, doesn't it? Additives. I'm not sure if I spelt that right. Sulfur, yeah. What's that talking about there? Mini rockets. From your Silvery diesel heater. So obviously,
you get no results again.
Weird burnt smell or sulfur smell. Here we go. That sounds. And it's talking about turbochargers, by the looks of it. I've typed in rockets, so why are we getting this one? Rocket engines on cars. Yeah, I'm not sure. Night radar. wanted rockets or maybe planes. It should come up with that one though, shouldn't it? Strawberry wine egg smell. There you go. 2016. Home brew tech. So it's amazing what comes up. Has your beer ever had that smell before? Strawberry egg wine smell.
No, I try not to make it like that.
No, you want it more like a beer smell, don't you? Hops. Exhaust smells like gunpowder. Yeah. I noticed it in cars, but not jet engines, because they normally use kerosene. It smells like one of those kerosene heaters for jet engines. Rockets, I don't know. I've never been around a rocket launch to know. Let's try plane. Sulfur smell. Talking about Rotorua here, which is like underground water from volcano. But yeah, nothing's really popping up. Doesn't mean it's not out there. Might have to do some more research on that.
Paul, have you ever stopped to think that it might have just been something that was actually anomalous?
Yeah, but we've got to sort of discount everything first.
Yeah, but you're trying way too hard to find anything. You're clutching at straws.
I don't think I'm trying too hard. I just think I'm just trying normal. Dan left us, is he? Is the picture real? Okay, what's this?
No, Dan's still with us.
The picture is real. Which picture are we talking about?
Is that picture real? Get it right, Paul.
What picture? What picture?
He was talking about that UFO thing that was by the hangar, which was superimposed.
Yeah. No, that was a Photoshop. We're just saying how good people can be fooled. But there were some pictures of it meant to be similar ones flying in the air. And I don't know if they're Photoshops. We could never verify whether they're Photoshops. We could never find another similar image of another fighter pilot flying next to another plane. I think even Scott Brando tried to debunk one of them and he couldn't. So maybe it's a legit photo of one of these things flying in the air with a jet. It is on that episode. You just got to play it really slowly because it's flipping through a new image every few seconds, sort of thing. Was there any more that you want to talk about on that case?
No, and yeah, we want to keep the episodes a bit shorter now, don't we? So,
well, I don't know. Idea was to do a new format where we present it in the first hour as a separate episode and tidy it up and then do an after show where you talk about it in more detail. So it could be, it could be an hour or less, depending what you want to do. Why, do you actually want to go, do you? Let's see.
Well, I don't want to hang around too much longer. I've had 4 hours sleep, to be honest.
Okay, we've done 1.5 hours so far.
But anyway, there's something that I want to show people, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get rid of these.
I think if we had more people on the side, Robert would have more go. So get more people involved in the show. Because it does take a bit of time to prepare all these, obviously. I don't know why people don't join us. What time is it over in UK there? It's about 9:30 PM. Should be a load of people from UK and Europe joining us. And what's it in America at the moment? It must be fairly afternoon to evening as well, isn't it? Now, let's see. Did I have the thing here? It's disappeared. I used to have a thing that popped up with the dates and times. What is it in America at the moment? Used to have a thing here too. Let's see. Hawaii is 11:29 a.m. Mexico 3:30 p.m. Central 3:30 Eastern 4:30 Pacific 1. So it's only lunchtime over there in America. So where is everybody? It's just not on. So what you wanted to do? Did you post something that you want me to put up, or?
Yeah, I'll put it in the side chat now. Here's a freebie for everybody.
It hasn't popped up there, Robert.
Yeah, it is. It's there.
Now it just showed. A lot of lag. Laggy. Yeah, it's getting pretty hot here in New Zealand. Must be about 27 degrees Celsius in the bedroom now. That can't be right. The link you gave me doesn't work. Online books. It's got my episode there. The books didn't show up. It's gone back to YouTube, all things.
Oh, I have no idea.
Alright, so let me just redo that. Maybe I must have clicked the wrong thing. Must have clicked. Yeah,
That's
the wrong
not it.
one. That's the one.
There we go.
And we've got these patents again.
No, not patents, Paul. Not patents at all. You're obsessed with patents.
Yeah, that's like the
This
patents.
is some of the best literature. This is some of the best literature you'll find in the UFO field, and it's all for nothing. But you'll have to read it electronically. You know, you can't just order a physical copy. I'm sure people understand that anyway.
Yeah,
you got some real.
I think I've posted that and some other ones. Who else does?
Now, if you were to buy all those, you're looking at hundreds of pounds. There's some of these, but maybe more, because some of these books are out of print. You can't get them anymore. But courtesy of the NICAP website, they're all there for nothing.
Yeah. And all UFO information should be like that. It should be.
Yes.
All UFO books and stuff should be available like that. It shouldn't be just making someone rich. Maybe after they've tried to sell it for maybe a year, they should release it, just like that in a PDF book.
These books are all on the old side, but there's still some of the best books.
Now they always try and make money from it. What's Dan saying? Everybody knows the best place to get UFO information is the Out There channel. Yeah, we'll tell that to Goofon. He's calling me names. Yeah, he's calling me names out there still. I only attack the information they provide. I can only call the person an idiot so many times, but I don't make up nasty little names for them. I still call him Goofon. That name alone is good enough, I think. But yeah, ufology. I don't know where it's going to go this year. Everyone's still. It seems like these fraud channels are attacking Lou all the time, and I just think it's silly. Just let them make their own mistakes and expose themselves if they're frauds. I think that's normally what happens. Normally hoaxers and frauds make mistakes and reveal themselves. Has Lou done that yet? I don't know. We haven't seen his book yet, and we haven't seen any new TV series. So, but I thought they exposed themselves a bit with the TTSA TV series, where they showed their naivety. Like, pilot reports seeing a big bright blob in the sky and getting the photograph of it, and it was out of focus, and it's got the ring around it. And they're saying, oh, that's a force field or whatever. It's not. It's just camera artifact. Then you got the skydivers that they said, oh, that's got to be a real one. And stupid ones like that, and birds and bugs. Least proof is out there, is least asking some of the debunkers their opinions and stuff and getting stuff right. But the funny is, the ones they call UFOs is always when they aren't asking Nick West. Because a lot of the ones they're saying as UFOs have been debunked. Yeah. But yeah, still, they got to keep it entertainment. They got to put some. They can't debunk everything because no one will watch them. This is a problem we have with truth channels, right? We know 99.9% are going to be mundane, explainable, and the rest is not. And generally, the rest don't have photographs or video with them as well at this stage. Although Robert has found one in UK, and I got one from Mojo, which looks credible as well. But I'm sure there's going to be more out there that people haven't revealed because they don't want to be laughed at. I just don't. They keep saying NASA's covering up, and everything I see on NASA is all explainable. How things turn at 90 degrees is all explainable. When you're talking about,
don't trust NASA. You cannot trust NASA.
Well, I don't know if you can trust them, but you can't trust fraud channels saying, because that's turning 90 degrees, that can't be an ice particle, which is totally wrong.
Oh, no, of course. That just makes a fool out of the subject. It's bad.
Yeah, we're talking about a liquid and a solid, and of course you're going to get solar radiation hitting it. It's going to change direction. It's going to cause gas to come off it, which will be like a little jet engine, so it's going to turn at 90 degrees. The thing is, a lot of NASA stuff is not three-dimensional. So if they had three-dimensional cameras all the time, you better rule out everything on there, on those moving particles and stuff. But they haven't done that. In fact, I'm surprised they haven't done that already. Put 3D video cameras up there, something new for people to look at. And you better see the lens reflections then perfectly, then probably, because it'll be on both cameras at the same time, and you can see it's not got any depth in it. It'd make debunking a lot easier. All those stupid claims. Of course, that NASA thing, the rock, has just come out as well. They said it was a hut. The Chinese were saying it looks like a building. And when they got there, they found it was a big boulder that had like a dark split down the middle. I don't know if you've seen the picture of it, but it just shows how low res can look like a square blob. UFO Interest has probably got some images up, so we'll just go there. I'm not sure if I showed this last time or if it's new. Can't remember where I got to. Okay, it should be down here somewhere. There we go. So this one with the hut, Jabba Hut. Let's see, I'll zoom in.
Oh, this.
Where it kind of looks like a building with a dark line going down the middle, or a doorway, right? It kind of looks like a hut. But that's low res, and it's far away. And I'm not sure if that was the rock. I don't think it is. I think that's what they said it's going to look like when you get to it. It's going to be like a rock or boulders. But there's been an update now they got there. There's the rock going on the edge of a crater. That's the hut. It kind of looks squarish there, doesn't it? So it has a squarish thing. You can see how small it is. Might be a few meters or whatever. And then we got a zoom up of it there. There's the dark line they were seeing. It was like a doorway. But we got no scale here, so this is probably a fairly big boulder, right? Next to a crater. But it just shows you all those crazy moon images that people keep putting up.
Yeah.
Can be very misleading. Yeah. And on this angle here, same angle, you can see that it does sort of have a flat side. It looks almost flat. Especially with the shadows. Anyway, I'm not sure. Of course, this thing about this from Third Phase again, which is total lies. No research done. We've been over this years and years. That it's just artifacts and the reflections and stuff. So I'm not even sure how to read this NASA sun camera at all. I think the sun is here. And we see the radiation coming off. I'm not sure why it's curved the opposite way. Maybe because that's the way the shield is. And then it's got these different planets and artifacts. Creates a echo of maybe the sensor. But anyway, everybody's saying that it's UFO and it's a shield in front of it, which is nonsense. Saying it's a shield that's bouncing off the UFO or whatever. And you got some that using computer games, right? Which we looked at last time, I think. Meant to be a UFO being shot down or whatever, or attacking a ship or something. Battle after over LA. So yeah, it's not really much more there, I don't think. What's that one there? Metabunk one. Moon landed footage is a hoax. The hoax is mixed real clips with NASA clips. So they use Capricorn 1. I'm not sure if anyone's seen that movie. But
yeah,
there's Capricorn 1 on the right here, and this is the fake movie they made from it. And they found various bits in what they used from the movie. 100% identical. But I haven't seen that fake going around, so maybe it's on the group Facebook groups or something. But yeah, the biggest thing at the moment is the S4 stuff, which has been crazy.
Just get back for a second before I leave now. Now, I really highly recommend. They won't cost you a penny that you read these books, because you'll be in a. If you get through all of them, it might take you an year, might take you two, It doesn't matter as long as you get there. You'll
Yeah.
be a whole lot better off.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paulson, I'm going to have to go now. I'm absolutely dog tired. I
Hey,
haven't had
mate.
enough sleep. So you can talk further if you like, and I'll catch you later. Take care, Dan.
Okay, I'll just do an update on. Yeah, he's having trouble sleeping, all Robert. So how many hours we got? I might just sum up on that S4 stuff. Coming up to 2 hours. I know it's a short day. I wonder how cloudy it is out there. Whether I could do a New Zealand Skywatch. Wait for the clouds to go, so we can actually see what planes look like in the sky. But anyway, S4 has come back a few times. Third phase. Let's see what they're up to at the moment. And they just won't let the story go. I know it's the wrong one. Damn. Maybe they have finally let it go. Aerospace Military Insider. That was from Michael Schratt, which I don't believe. All these people are insiders. But apparently, alien scientists come back saying that he doesn't think it's a guzzler now because it's not on their charts. But it may be not been added to the charts yet. Maybe it's not finished off yet, maybe. So yeah, he said, oh yeah, it could be a mining shaft there. S4, shaft 4. So what could S4 stand for? It could stand for lots of things, couldn't it? Sector 4, shaft 4, site 4, what else? Station 4, like if it's like a remote station. So we never, remember I narrowed it down to 6 possible things, and I said most likely it's going to be like a massive ice melt thing where the snow falls onto the 100 by 100 tin foil there and melts off into the underground storage there, which they've probably got a huge couple underground tanks storing water that could last maybe a whole year, if there's a major drought that happens. So maybe they're getting ready for future climate change. But they're also saying it's got radiation from all the bomb testing right next door. But then again, if you look next door, there is various buildings and agriculture there now, so maybe the radiation is not serious anymore. And of course, if it's high up in the mountains, right, you're getting the rain coming down. I'm pretty sure there won't be any radiation up high on those mountains, more likely to be on the ground where the bombs were detonated. And the radiation that went in the atmosphere either blew away or finally washed downwards back to the ground again from the rain over many years, right? So yeah. So they're talking about placing these dots, markers on the screen too, and I did actually notice that someone had actually changed the name of the location. Where's my Twitter account here? Let's see if I can find the post to it. Down here. Now, I'll come back to that comment. Should be here somewhere. Here we go. So I was looking on Google Maps, not Google Earth, and you can see it says here, this location, the pin is there, is NYE County. As far as I'm concerned, that's not restricted area according to alien scientists. It still is. Maybe the airspace is restricted, but not the ground. So I don't know. But yeah, someone actually did change it. So I clicked around in the other locations, and sure enough, third phase of the moon base or whatever it is there. So someone's managed to pin it, and it's just got a generic icon. They're saying it had a government icon initially. So does it mean that someone's won the $5,000 or $10,000 that they're putting up? So I sent that off to Jeremy, alien scientist, but I haven't checked whether it was on Google Earth. What was the other stuff? Alright, this is some of the stuff come out recently as well. This one here from third phase shows an object that looks like it's got blinking lights on it, like it's a jet. It even has a jet shape to it, and it has this envelope that happens in the sky. It's very similar to what you get with jet fighters when they go into audio, what do you call it, sonic boom levels.
And as air cools,
so I think it's further here.
its ability to hold moisture drops. So if there's enough moisture, you'll see it form in clouds.
Okay, so this one's forming a cloud behind it, but if we move on, it actually forms it in front and above. Here we go.
Section of air is spontaneously
Look
reacting to the temperature.
It is forming it above it, right? Exactly the same as in their video.
Temperature and pressure changed,
and now it's at the back.
Induced by the aircraft's body sliding past. Then there are the shock waves.
And then you got the shock waves as well, which is similar to that.
Forming a pressure wave.
Which is similar to the other one, but it puts into the sky.
Pressure wave is sound.
Yeah. So yeah, that video is got to be around somewhere. Talking about the pressure waves and atmospherics that sort of happen. This one here.
The Hidden Underbelly 2.0.
Okay, so this looks like it's a cloud. It looks very similar to these ones over here. If you look at the color range and the direction it's hidden with the clouds here.
Take a look at his special report and his thought.
If you put a line between it and measured it in real time.
So guys, this was captured during the launch of the Falcon 9, where it was going to be
Let's
launched.
say it's a smoke O-ring type thing produced from the rocket engines or something. I say that's cobblers. To me, that's probably an island in the center, and the cloud cover's gone around it or something like that. And you can see the green in the video matches up pretty close to these other cloud formations. So yeah, just more nonsense there.
Some more. So
Underbelly's just another fraud channel. But they were talking about seeing a little dot, which was an ice crystal previously. We see it fly off here. People have probably already seen that one. Okay, where's the
people watching, and this was captured. What?
Okay, so someone filmed this.
Watch this
on their TV. And I think it's just a F14 or something like that. You can see the flashing lights on it, and there's the cloud formation when it's breaking through the max sound level, right? And then it goes through it and disappears. So yeah, I didn't do any research there. You know, you can see the plane shape there even. Look, it looks like an F14. Or maybe even a stealth fighter. It's maybe double wings there. overexposed, of course, and they're filming it off a TV screen. It's fairly just a shockwave forming.
From Japan, so everybody.
And you see the lights there even illuminating the cloud it creates, which means it's close to it. So yeah.
From it, and look at this. We're watching.
Really seeing comparison videos of it.
And Star Sky watch and notice.
See, as it's flashing, it lights up the cloud it's
and
forming.
was lucky enough to actually film the screen.
How that ends up on a UFO channel again, I don't know, unless they're using it for, like I did with a comparison there. I think that was pretty much it. I've got recycled stuff here. Oh, this one here. Again, it could be a distant building, you know. It looks like it might be going around the top of a building, a high rise, and we're just not seeing it. I haven't done any analysis on that one.
Resembles a craft that I can't explain.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's going up the side of a building here, doesn't it? On a corner, and then it goes this way. I thought maybe it was military flares, that one. But yeah, I'm not sure if we can analyze it real time, but we'll try. I know they've changed it, haven't they? You used to be able to click on the filter. I think they may even stopped it on this one. I have to load it in the other browser. And let me just copy it. Just close that down. Cool. I'll just stick it in the normal browser. Which has got all the sky watching set up on it. I'll just choose one of the tabs at the end. Has it gone to the right place? Okay, so we can, again, it's changed, hasn't it? Now, we used to have that circle where you could click on it and muck around with the screen colours. But now they've updated it, they've hidden it from us. Is it still here? I don't see it anymore. It's a damn shame because that was handy. Not sure what it was called now. It's definitely disappeared. I only just realised that one's disappeared, hasn't it? That's why I don't like updating things. The extensions get lost that you use, right? And it made a right mess of how the extensions work now. I don't see it there. I can't remember what it was called now. HTML, color shifter and stuff. Something like that. Very disappointing. So let's copy it instead. And do it the hard way. So I have to find out if you can see this one's had motion blur going upwards as well. Probably not the best one to take, but anyway. Just run it quickly through the editor. And then we'll wrap up for the day. My arm's going to sleep on the left. Come on. Right, I didn't put it in the clipboard, did I? I put it down here. Is that not the one? Hasn't saved it. Where's the safe box then? That's weird. Ah, right, it's on the other screen. That's why it's not saved. Okay. Now it's saved. Okay, so let's see. Is it a building? But these guys should know this. This is why I just don't like them. You could try around with the brightness. And you can see here it's already got some sort of reflection happening off. Looks like a square block, doesn't it? Okay, let's run it through. So that means the people that submitted that video to him are hoaxers in that case. From Russia or whatever it was. Hue. Let's try changing some of the blacks to different colours. And see what pops out. Again, we're getting the square block. Looks like a high-rise building. Looks like it's got a square bit on here. We're getting some smudging on the car window here. Reflections. But again, it looks like a building, doesn't it? And you can see how it's illuminated, reflecting off something, the surface of something here, which forms a high-rise building shape. So what do you reckon on that one? You reckon I'm correct or wrong? Piano, how's it going? I'm in Christchurch, New Zealand. But I have got a slight English accent because my parents are from England. So I think that one's busted as a lights on top of a high-rise, which you generally get. So planes don't crash into it, I suppose. It's probably in a foggy night on that video, right? We probably could take some other snapshot, but you can see it's going to come out the same.
Speaking of things that we can't explain, there's been a follow-up by Jeremy from Alien Scientist. He did some research about the so-called water guzzler theory. Jeremy was the first one that put that out on Third Phase of Moon and calling us out saying we're just showing a water guzzler. Well, we asked him to do a little research on it because he wanted to prove his point. Ironically, he found out that it may not be a water guzzler. Watch this. But
yeah, so that's the bit I was talking about earlier. I suppose we can play a bit of it.
There's a mine. Not only do we not have the water guzzlers on the map when I looked up the water guzzlers, and actually...
You might remember I said it was a road connected to a mine site, and I said it's more likely to store concrete slabs to store the mining equipment on during winter or whatever. So that's what I initially thought, and then the guzzler theory come into it. But, you know, it's definitely, those slabs are not near any of the slopes for doors to be for hangars when you look at it 3D. But he's looking at various old maps here.
Actually heard back from Bureau of Land Management. So BLM wrote me back and said that I have to contact the property owner or that site owner for more information. So they said basically it's not on Bureau of Land Management land, and they don't know anything about it. So it's kind of did a number on the whole theory that was a water guzzler, and it's also a little bit big to be a water guzzler. It's it's like 100 feet by 100 feet. So this might be a mine, and it kind of actually looks like a mine. This particularly, this looks like a mine. It could.
He's saying it's a mine entrance here going downwards, but I think that's just water or shrubs. It's very similar to the shrubs on the mountain range here. Could be water. Like we said, that could be the guzzler, 4x8, and that could also be part of the pump system, and that could be like a maintenance shack where people hang out there when it's controlling it, maybe, or whatever. You notice though the tin roof here is a lot more brighter than these grey blocks. I still think maybe I'm correct that these are concrete slabs here, and just use it for parking equipment on during down season.
Mine shaft down to the...
So it could be a mining site here. It doesn't mean that it's S4 though. But unfortunately, Jeremy says, oh, if we can find that mining site's been around since 1980s, it could be called S4. But then there's another way to look at that. Maybe Bob also saw some mining maps and S4 was on it, and he used that part of his story, right? And like I said, it could just mean shaft 4, mining site 4 or something like that, right? So S4 is very generic.
Mountain, which is super interesting because, hey, where you hide an underground base in an old mine shaft, right? So maybe there is an underground something here. It seems...
Sometimes they put concrete blocks when they've done a deep nuclear waste dump. Of course, the mountain being granite would be a perfect place where it doesn't leak into the water supply as well. So, who knows? And the mining site may have been looking for uranium even. Doesn't mean it's got to do with the Area 51 at all. If you follow the road, could be just some a lot of mining happens in Nevada, right, and other places, as you've probably seen on TV with the gold mining shows. They're all over the place. So, but they do mine other things like copper and iron and stuff,
It seems interesting and more plausible now that we have no guzzlers. I mean, it might be updated since 2002, and they might have put a water guzzler over here. We have to look, we're still doing the research to look on the maps to go back on the dates to see when these two square gray structures were actually built. If they were built after 2002, then that kind of puts the damper on the story that Bob Lazar was there in 1989. But if they were built, in the late 80s, then there might be some, there might be some meat to the story. This is interesting. A mine right here.
You can't say that.
That is technically on. See, this is the restricted access.
But
line.
mind you,
So
the map would say if it's a mine, then it probably is.
Nellis Air Force Range property, which is interesting, fascinating.
Unless that map's
guys,
wrong.
Keep doing some research. Keep digging. Again.
So yeah, this is the sort of stuff you got to keep researching. So, like I said, when I did my debunk on it, last live show, wasn't it? I said, well, let's measure it out and actually confirm everything, and we found there was errors in the debunkers' claims as well as the fraud channel claims, right? And we could narrow it down to 6 possible because you ain't got that sort of ground level eye on the ground of the area. We can only see from space. So the reflection does look like concrete, and it could be just even concrete settling ponds that they put the water in and evaporate it, and then they dig out the slush. Or it could be, like I said, it could be just like 2 concrete shooting ranges that go into the ground a wee bit, and they just fire various test weapons here. That'd make more sense as well to me, rather than being a mining site. Maybe it was a mining site to start with, and then they turned into a shooting range. Or maybe underground storage of water as well. It's all possible, But yeah, going back to that building. Oh, what did I do then? This one here. I think it's a building.
Perception on this, but I don't see.
See, here's that smudginess that we got in the filter. It's going through a car window.
Perception, as far as some people want to say.
So you can see the smudging. That's definitely a building, right?
Say this is simply CGI, and we put up CGI.
CGI was far from my mind just when I looked at this. You know, this is how stupid these guys are.
Videos. No, we're sharing you the evidence that's coming in from the public, like you, that have their eyes on the skies. And again, this came in earlier today. We're trying to figure it out what it is. We're all in the.
They know it's a building with lights at the top. So yeah, I just hate these guys, and they keep saying they've changed and all that nonsense. So yeah, that's an F-14 or something similar. That's making a sonic boom wave of some sort above it. So yeah, it's just stupid. So yeah, I should leave it there and wrap up for the day. Yeah, maybe do a night sky watch or a day sky watch yet. See how I feel. See what it looks like outside. We can have a quick look on the main cameras, I guess. Just close that down and that. Not sure we're going to use. Oh, we already got a thumbnail, haven't we? So we don't need it. Don't save. I'll just bring up my outside camera software. Oh, what happened there? So easy to click on things when you're on the other screen because it's got all the control and the icon for the launching the I Spy software for the cameras. I think I double clicked it. Just take rewind kicking. It should be coming up. Unless something else has gone wrong. There we go. That's my normal outside camera. It's not set up. Looks like it might be less cloudy at the moment. So we've got some blue sky there. Outside can't see too much because it's looking for ground level, not sky level, because they're security cameras. But that one there looks pretty good. So yeah, who knows? I might come back in a couple of hours and do another show. Anyway, let's leave it there and wrap up. What he's saying on the side here, Phil Snyder said there was aliens underground at Dulce, New Mexico. But yeah, as you've noticed in my other episodes, I have debunked him. FBI were tracking him. Apparently he was even handing around radioactive material in his presentations. People could have got sick or radiation burns, or possibly died from handling or showing up for his presentations. So, but he cut off his own fingers. They got medical reports and psychology tests. He was a bit of a mental nutcase. And going back years, so and autopsy showed that it could be done with one hand with the pipe thing around his neck. He used like a stretchy tubing, so he could easily do a double twist around his neck, and it would simply be like a loose, and it would just tighten up as you put more weight on it. So yeah, he'd hang himself for sure. But yeah, the video episode of that is out there. You just have to find it. You have to watch my stuff. I don't think Dan's been around long enough. And the icon's got big there for some reason. Let's shrink it down a bit. Yeah, it's still a bit big, but least we can read it. Let's see. Phil. Let's see. Which one would it have been? Here it is, here I think. Phil Snyder laid. It's on big screen. Is it? Yeah, it's definitely been scaled up. Oh, there we go. Welcome to the Out There channel. Live stream 100. For some reason it's not scrolling up. What's everybody up to? Yeah, so this one's got bookmarks here, so you can probably jump to the section. Look at the Grand Canyon Spudcam drone. I'll post a link to it here. Phil exposed. Trying to type it on. The font's a bit small for my eyes to see if it's going in right. So yeah, where's Phil one? Look at new information about Phil. Here we go. I'll just wrap up on this end. I think you can pin it down. Is it loud enough? To balloons, you know. Let's see. There was some other stuff. Let's see. It's not quite lined up. Let's see if I can find it. On Phil Snyder, that come up, which is quite interesting to bring up. So I think you can pin it down. Let's just scroll it a bit. Where's the bit I'm looking for? Here we go, Phil Snyder. So I found this post here. About him as a total fraud. Now, the story, what's his story? Basically, he said that he was digging a tunnel underground at Dulce, was it? And they using a special drilling machine. I've got a quickly back here. Using nuclear, some sort of nuclear technology that sort of melts the rock and forms the outer walls instead of using concrete. I was given a sandwich that was crinkly bag. Just eating something in between talking. I might just get to walk, read out. Anyway, I just mentioned. I'll eventually just give it here. There's this guy here plays a little video, breaking down the FBI stuff that I play. I think. So they're talking about the autopsy time knots. So the autopsy definitely said it was rubber tubing.
Repeated information about underground bases that was already in print. Phil Schneider quoted word-for-word material already written by other researchers.
You have to keep on going. So there must be. Yeah, that reader wasn't really good, was it?
Rhyolite was a top-secret surveillance satellite system developed at TPOM. Rhyolite is referred in SIGINT, signal intelligence, satellites. Phil was not involved with this type of work. No, he did not have a Rhyolite clearance. No, Phil Schneider was nothing more than a narcissistic liar and fabricator. But one thing Schneider succeeded was in staging his own murder as a last resort in order to relieve himself of physical pain and, at the same time, creating a legacy of immortal personality cult among many of the brainwashed, gullible folks who inhabit the world of ufology. Here is a very interesting comment from his one-time roommate, from G. Clinton. What I know about Phil Schneider, quote, this morning in the state of boredom I decided to look up and see if I can find anything about people I used to know on Google. Imagine my surprise to find that there was a cult of Phil Schneider, who I knew very well in 1977, though 1980.
Still laughing.
Okay. See what he has to say.
Like I said, I've found some interesting stuff here.
I moved to Portland, Oregon in 1977, unemployed and very short on funds. I moved into a very cheap rooming house shortly after I moved in. Phil Schneider moved in. It didn't take me very long at all to realize that he was a liar.
Believe me, this is not disinformation.
And I thought he was mentally ill. His missing fingers. He told me that he had lost them when he was working in Eastern Oregon as a lineman when he had some sort of mishap on a pole. Frankly, I no longer recall the details. It has been nearly 40 years. His chest wound. I took him to the hospital.
His chest wound, not wound. He took him to the hospital. Okay, let's have a listen to that one. But we do know his fingers he cut off himself. But that's in another video, which I'll play in a minute. From Freedom of Information.
One day as I was talking to other roomers in the common room, Phil came down the stairs with blood on his shirt saying he'd been shot. A story he quickly changed to somehow being inflicted by a passing car having losing a snow stud which struck him in the chest causing the wounds. No one present believed him, of course, but it was certainly not the time for discussions of his credibility. I took him to the hospital. After a short time one of the ER doctors came up to me and asked if I had any influence with Phil. I said, not really. The doctor said that they would like to keep him for a psych evaluation but had no grounds to do so. I was asked to try to convince Phil to voluntarily submit. At this point, and having my own suspicions, I said to the doctor, you suspect it is self-inflicted? The doctor said, yes. I did talk to Phil a little bit. Of course he refused. I wish I could remember which hospital in Portland it was. Unfortunately, I just
will be on the side chat of that
but
episode.
There should be records. This happened in possibly late 77, more likely 78, perhaps even early 79. There is more I could talk about, but none of it would be particularly germane. By the time I parted company with Phil, entirely, probably sometime in 1980, I was of the very solid opinion that Phil was disturbed and probably a danger to himself but not others. I should note here that I am completely unqualified in any clinical sense to say these things. Now I know that no one has any particular reason to give my testimony any credibility. But, there it is. I hope that this may help slightly for some people to be suspicious of anything he said. I certainly wasn't. Phil Schneider was not a horrible person. He was certainly at some level delusional. He was for a short time a very flawed friend of mine. Unquote.
So, that's interesting.
So we've got some more.
Material was uranium ore, and it was radiating at 100 milliroentgens per hour. Now, these experts that the FBI sent this material to said that the prolonged exposure to or ingestion of this uranium ore that Phil Schneider had in his possession and gave some to his uncle, who was a doctor, indicated that in a powdered form, it could be extremely hazardous. Phil Schneider, according to this just declassified document, was interviewed and agreed to be interviewed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yeah. Did he tell us that in all of his lectures? Now, Phil Schneider gave the FBI consent to search his residence, and they traced the source, based on Phil's own report, to somebody that he met in a local tavern by the name of George M. So he did not get the material from an underground base because this uranium ore was already traced back through the FBI, and they tracked down the guy that sold it to Phil. How much radioactive material? Well,
so he goes on a bit there, which is quite interesting.
You have to download the whole episode.
So yeah, Phil's telling load of lies, obviously. So he took this stuff to presentations, right? UFO talks. Probably handed it around, and people didn't probably realise how radioactive it was. So anyone else that they went to the lectures there got sick and got cancer, maybe it was related to the stuff he was passing around. That should be quite concerning. So yeah, go and have a listen to that full thing there. He's got some other interesting videos up, this guy. Let's see if we can bring it up.
Maybe I skimmed
saying
past too
if I
much.
get killed.
Phil gave his uncle 2 chunks of radioactive material.
What is he talking about?
Probably handed it around and people didn't.
I see. Well, there's more to this.
Must be on the other hand.
There was more in the FBI report of that guy. So go and dig up his video off this one. Should be posted down here somewhere. Promoting this channel, if Google hasn't deleted it. Yeah. What was his name, anyway? Here we go, we got some more.
Document, quote, Schneider was a former patient at Damisch State Hospital, Wilsonville, Oregon, from July 1968 to January of 1969. While at the state psychiatric hospital, Schneider was characterized as having schizophrenia. Under stress, Schneider would mutilate himself for self-attention and had amputated 2 fingers and a thumb. Now, Schneider's uncle was a surgeon and a physician. His name was Leo Schneider, MD. The FBI talked to Phil Schneider's uncle regarding Phil's possession of radioactive material. And apparently Phil gave his uncle 2 chunks of radioactive material.
Yeah, what is that guy's name? He's pretty good. He's got these FOIA requests, probably on the Black Vault, what he's reading out there as well. But yeah, it's called Phil Schneider Declassified Secrets Revealed. Google that, maybe you can find the episode. But I'm pretty sure it's in the side here somewhere. Or it'll be in the description, one or the other. You can see that was live show 163, so it's a fair few live shows ago, and we're still talking about Phil Schneider. It never ends, I tell you. Oh, here we go. Is that the one? Let's see. Let's just click it and just check. This one. I'll just repost that link here, I guess. Well, I think that sort of nails it for Phil. What's going on? On Phil Schneider. Oh. What's going on here? I must have hit the control key or something. There you go. He actually shows it up on the screen and all that. So go and watch that whole episode properly. Or you can watch mine. It includes all the other bits of images, close up of his hand and all that sort of stuff. So go and watch both of them. Apart from that, it's time to wrap up now. Thanks for those that joined us on the side comments. What's this one? Did I miss anything here? 20 and back opinion. Like the Space Force. No, this is before the underground base thing. He had schizophrenia. What was the underground base one? In the 70s? They were talking about in that report in the 60s. And plus you got his friend saying the same thing, where the hospital wanted to keep him in for testing. So there's plenty of other, things backing up the FBI reports that I found there. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the show today. Robert was a wee bit slacking because he's tired, so that's alright though. We did an hour and a half, so we wanted to keep the show shorter, but I just like to wrap up some extra bits on the end there, saving me having to do an extra episode. Maybe I need to rename the title though, else people won't see it, but yeah. Time to click in credits and see you again in the future, whether that be tonight or the afternoon, or yet to find out. We're sky watching. I need to have lunch first and a drink. Thanks Dan for modding. Yeah, see you again. See you later, Piano. I think you're new here, aren't you? Definitely check out my other stuff there. Like I said, if you started watching my channel non-stop, it'll take you 3 years at the moment. That's how much material I've got. My channel is suppressed by Google still. You'll be lucky to find it in search engines, any of those episodes. And you can see I use a lot of descriptions, so you should be able to find all the Phil Snyder in searches, but you can't. Where's my end credit thing gone? There we go.